Hello, hello. Stephanie Zima here. Okay, my camera today. Hang on, hold please. I'm gonna try to fix this here. Where's in my chair? Something is off a little bit. There we go. I think this is better. This is better. Right. Okay, so having said that, wait a minute, hold please. I'm gonna just fix this a little bit. There you go. I think this is better. Anyway, long story short, we're gonna talk about perfectionism today and how it's going to stop you in your tracks and what you can do to avoid that from happening, because I know that you are likely an online entrepreneur of some sort, right? You are somebody that is in sales. You're somebody that needs to have some extra money for whatever reason you have. Maybe you want to pay your credit card bills. Maybe you want to, you just want to have money for yourself, right? I mean, maybe you don't want to ask anybody for money. Maybe you just like whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. None of that matters. There's a bazillion people that are trying to build an online business in the world. But a lot of you are not taking the actions that you should be taking out of whatever reason. And there's all these excuses. I don't have time. I am not sure what I should do. There is, other people's opinions. There is a gazillion different things that people are saying. However, all of that is nonsense. I'm sorry, I'm a little spicy today. All of that is nonsense because it's all in your head, literally. Okay, literally. And here's why. I'm not coming from a judgmental place, right? I really am not, because that was me for a long time. That was me. I could not take the action. I was not somebody that started reaching out to people. I sent maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 messages, and then I was like, ooh, overwhelmed, and then I wasn't really sure anymore, and I was like trying to figure out, should I say it differently? Nobody's responded to me, and like out of the sudden, this doubt, this is the message right? Is my language right? Is my words right? Like all of these things, right? And then of course it got even worse when somebody commented and said, you have a typo in here, or you should be actually doing it this way and that way, right? If once I got those kind of messages, of course now I was like trying to overthink it completely. And so what happened was it delayed me. I never completely stopped working, but it delayed me enough to stop for a day or two. And so what happens is you bump the car and it stops. You bump the car and it stops. And you bump the car and it stops. And you can never really get into momentum. You never really can keep the conversations going. And in sales, what's happening if you do that this way, like if you bump somebody on, you start a conversation, and then you kind of like lose track of that conversation because you're frozen, or you are distracted, or you're overwhelmed, or you're in your head of some sort. Now what happens is you're not moving, you're not taking action, you are not continuing that conversation. So the attention that you had is already gone. So if you put it in perspective, one of my coaches ever said, it's kind of like once you have a prospect getting into your car, you got to make sure they don't leave that car until you're done with them. And it sounds really bad on the one side, but it was a visual that stuck with me, because that's really what it is when you talk to people. When you have a conversation, you got to make sure they're coming into your car, you're having a quick conversation, and then either you're driving off together or they're getting out of the car and that conversation is done and over with. Now, when you get in your head because of doubt or perfectionism or anything like that, that's exactly what happens. The people are getting in the car, but they are really quickly out of the car before you can even ask anything, before you can even say anything. Or sometimes maybe they're just peeking into the window and they're not even getting into your car. So those are the things that are going to keep you stuck from taking momentum. Now, what do we need to do to avoid that? Okay, we need to avoid getting into our head, getting into our head. Like, we need to be in control. And see, this is mindset mastery right here, right? You may know what to do. You may be able to give everybody answers. You may be able to do the trainings and have teams and all that stuff. You may be the person. But are you in control of your own triggers? Are you in control of your own brain? Are you able to reset quickly, like in seconds? Like, if somebody comes up to you and is nasty, can you reset in 10 seconds or less, in 60 seconds or less? Can you reset? Can you identify that trigger? Can you identify the emotion? Can you start working with it and continue anyway? Because that is what the mastery is. That is where the skill is at. That is what took me a long time to learn. Because, see, I knew and I understood, right? I understood exactly what I needed to do years ago. I knew what I needed to do, and it was so frustrating that I could not do it anyway. Now, on the other hand, I'm out on the other side of the tunnel. Now I am so skilled of recognizing people's emotions. I always knew people's emotions, but I am so quickly capable of flipping the switch. Literally, if somebody says no or somebody's nasty, I'm just like, whew, okay, next, right? And it's because I have been training myself over and over and over and over to reset in 10 seconds, reset in 10 seconds, reset in 10 seconds, reset in 10 seconds, over and over and over. How am I able to do that? I am able to do that in after, basically not in, after I had to redefine my identity. I had to figure out, who am I? What am I good at? What am I good at? Well, I tell you, I am very resilient. I am somebody that fights for the underdog. I hate with a passion to hear everybody only talking to the 6 to 7 figure income earners. I hate it with a passion, and I get it. And maybe I'm eating my words in a few years, but right now I am so passionate and fired up to help the 80% to get past their triggers, because I know there are good people out there that are not able to take action because they're still in their head. They're still stuck there, and they want to get out, and they want to get out, but they can't. And here's why I want to tell you, I want to teach you how to do that. I want you to learn that mindset mastery, because it's not only important in your online business, but it's also important in your life. Now, can you imagine when you get triggered from your boss, from somebody in the grocery store, from your husband, from whatever, and you get to reset within 10 seconds, and you get to remind yourself in those 10 seconds really quick what you're good at and why you're doing what you're doing, and that you you are able to reassure yourself that you are valid and valuable, and that even if somebody does not like you, even if somebody is not able to hear and see your truth, that you get to still be okay. Can you imagine what that feels like? Can you imagine what that feels like? I tell you what that feels like, because I am feeling that. It's called peace. It's called peace. It's called being authentic. It's called being okay with yourself. See, authentic is not you being there without makeup, or you are putting no filters on. None of that really is authentic, right? Authentic is you being so okay with yourself that it doesn't matter if somebody else is going to like you, if somebody else is going to like what you have to say. It doesn't matter. Okay, it really doesn't matter. Of course, do you want it? Yes, we want people to love us. We want people to like us. Do I like looking at my low views right now? No, I don't. I wish you would share this out. I wish you would tag a friend. I wish you would do all these things. Right? But I also am not only talking for likes and followers. I'm talking out of passion. I'm talking because I believe in this movement of walk it free. And I believe that 80% of people can't be all bad. Okay? Can't be all bad. I know so many People want to only focus on the ones that are already healed. They only want to focus on the ones that get it. But you know what I'm fighting for? I'm fighting for the underdog. I'm fighting for the little kids. I'm fighting. I saw it yesterday again. Okay. I'm sorry. Hold 1 second. Let me take a breath. 10 seconds, right? 10-second reset. I just triggered myself and I got myself to a 10-second reset. See, this is where mastery comes in. I saw yesterday somebody, again, we picked up food on the way back from soccer because, of course, it was late. I had a gazillion things I needed to do. I didn't cook and I didn't order the groceries, so I couldn't cook, right? Anyway, we picked up food. Long story short, we picked up food. And I saw, again, multiple different people sitting in that restaurant with their children on their phones, headphones on, and the mom was just sitting there, completely defeated. Okay. And I told my daughter, I'm like, look at this. This is what the world is at right now. This is what's at. There's no eye contact. There's no conversation. There is no connection. Okay. There's no connection. There's more connection with your phone than there's with an actual human being that is sitting in front of you. So AI obviously is going to be fantastic because, you know, I mean, soon, I think that's ridiculous. Out of the sudden, you have AI boyfriends and all kinds of stuff. Like, whoa, well, let's see how the AI babies are going to be. Like, think about it, okay? It's craziness. You need to be able to still connect with yourself. You still need to be able to get out of whatever it is that you are stuck in, and it's stuck because you are in perfectionism. You're scared. And especially with AI happening now, out of the sudden you see all these perfect images. You see all these people. I just had a conversation with another friend about it, and I was like, wow. I called her up and I said, wow, your images. I mean, you must have a new photographer. And she laughed and she says, no, it's AI. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? It's AI? I had no idea. I couldn't tell. Guys, you know, this is what's going to happen is our reality is going to get so crazy busy with stuff that and so crazy distorted that it's even more important right now that you understand who you are. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. Okay, you got to value yourself. You got to value who you are at the core. You got to have these principles that you're living your life by. You've got to understand that perfectionism, I mean, before AI, a lot of people are dealing with perfectionism. Now, who are we now competing with? The skinny, non-wrinkled, beautiful clothes computer. Okay, that's who we are competing with right now. It's beneficial, no doubt. I am not against AI. I am for AI. It's very beneficial. I am using a lot of it, right, for helping me out with my business and minimizing the time spent on specific tasks. I mean, it's fantastic. But let's not forget who we are. Let's not forget who we need to be to influence this world in a productive way, to get out there and actually be a human. Okay, let the computers do all the things that computers can do, but we still need to maintain being a human. We still need to be able to overcome our own perfectionism and still continue to be in movement so that we don't always like start, stop. That's what's happening. Okay. And it's not just adults. This is what's happening with kids. Guys, think. Okay. Think. I really need you to share this out right now and tag somebody that needs to hear this. Walking it free is the journey to peace. Walking it free is the journey to escape the mental prison that we all are on. It doesn't matter if it's anxiety, depression, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, emotional reactivity, overthinking, paralysis analysis, all of these things, okay? All of these things, let's break free from those. Let's walk it free. And it's the road and the journey back to who we are, who we are at the core, who we meant to be. And yes, we are looking a little bit what needs to be healed. We're looking a little bit back as to what happened, where's the origin of these thoughts, because we know thoughts are creating feelings and feelings create actions, right? So here's the thing, if your thought, and you're not a master of your thoughts yet, if your thoughts are creating a painful feeling, what do you think your brain is going to do? Your brain is going to stop. Your brain is going to say, no, thank you. I'm not doing this. I'm not going here. Like, let's look at our Christmas decorations. They're so much prettier and perfect than figuring out what we really should be doing, right? You gotta recognize these patterns. This is emotional mastery. This is not just thought coaching. This is now becoming mindset mastery, and the ability to reset, the ability to say, hey, wait a minute. Oh, I recognize I am trapped in a pattern here. I am trapped in this pattern. B, I am also now having to figure out what I even want, because after the first awareness that we're somewhat trapped, we start realizing like we don't even know what we want. When you have been asked for your business to write down your vision, when you have been asked to write down your goals, and you find yourself overwhelmed and you find yourself thinking like, what am I even wanting? And you start realizing like, dang, I don't even know what I want. That feeling is awful, by the way. That feeling is hopeless, helpless. What am I even doing on this earth? Pointless, right? And what is it that we all want? We want to matter, don't we? We want to matter. See, look, you see how the cycle is, okay? So you've been asked all these things. You're supposed to know what you want to do. You're supposed to know what purpose you want to fulfill in life, right? All these things you're supposed to be doing. But what happens is when you start realizing you don't know your purpose, you start freezing, fleeing, or fighting, blaming, right? That's your nervous system saying, whoa, alarm, 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 something crazy is happening. I am so scared. I don't even know what I'm doing. Ah, la, 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 la. That's a threat to your personal being. Okay, so of course your brain is going to shut you down, and this is what happens with perfectionism. Okay, you are being shut down by your brain to keep you safe because it's perceiving a threat to your psyche, a threat to, I don't even know what I'm doing. Who am I even? What am I doing? And it's happening to not just the 40-year-olds in their midlife crisis. It's happening to almost everyone these days. Because we have lost the path. We have lost the meaning. See, I was never taught, I don't know about you guys, but I was never taught to know my values, not by my parents at least. I've learned it in coaching. What was my values? What are my life principles that I'm living my life by? What are my core beliefs? How do I want to show up in the world? Who do I want to show up with? What is my goal for my entire life? Like, what do I want to feel like on the last day of my life, right? When I lay there in my deathbed, who do I want to look at? And what do I want to feel like? See, I get myself emotionally, right? I get myself into tears thinking about this. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about what you want when you are dying? See, because that is so important. You've got to start with your end in mind. If you want to be surrounded by XYZ, right? You fill in what you want to be surrounded with. What are your actions now? See, and you're just reacting. Your procrastination, your perfectionism, all of this is just reacting to a perceived threat that you are having. You are having this threat by the environment that you are in. Think about that. None of this is really real. It's just a perceived threat. Okay, so this perceived threat now is keeping you small, inactive, stopping all the time, Stop, start. Then you get so frustrated that you keep starting that eventually you give up. But no, here's what you need to do. Start with the end in mind, figure out exactly what it is that you want, and have patience with yourself. So if you can't figure out exactly what you want to do, it's okay. It's okay, because what do I want to do next month? Okay, now you're setting smaller time frames, smaller goals. What do I need to do next week? What do I want to do in this week? Right now, see, sometimes people get confused. They are asking me like, oh, next month, this and that. I'm like, hey, listen, if my life derails, once I dealt with my daughter's cancer, when I dealt with, the divorce, when I dealt with all this pain, of losing my stepdaughters, like all of this stuff, like once I dealt with it, I could not. My brain was on fight, flight, and freeze mode, all of it together. I wanted to just go into bed, shut down, and be done with it, right? That's what I wanted to do. I couldn't. So, well, how do I kept myself going? I just literally, I worked in 15 to 30-minute increments at that time. I literally looked at only what is right in front of me, because that is what I could control. I could control the here and now. I could control the next 15 minutes. I could control the next 30 minutes. I could not control anything beyond that, because a lot of people had their own agendas, what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do. And all I needed to do was stay sane so I could be there for my children, so that I could make good decisions in the hospitals, so I could be smart when I needed to talk to the insurance companies and the doctor's offices, asking questions, being the adult, right? When I needed to do this in the midst of all my trauma that I was receiving, that's what I did. I focused on 15 minutes increments all the time. And this is how I got myself through this emotional mastery. Emotional mastery, mindset mastery. Those are the benefits, you guys. It's not just like, oh, maybe it's not that important that I make my online business work. No, the online business is like a side effect for you leveling up in your entire life and the way how you feel about it. Okay, so if you are dealing with perfectionism, if you're feeling with something like your brain is shutting down, keeping you safe in perfectionism and in procrastination and blaming others and focusing only on your Christmas instead of getting actually done with the things that you need to move ahead in life with, remember, it's because you're perceiving this threat. Okay, and the way out is having an idea, a strategy, a system, how to keep moving, right? Because once you keep moving, an object in motion stays in motion. You got to continue to move slowly, one step at a time. This is why it's walking it free. Take the steps towards a life that you won't regret. If you stop, if you are not taking actions, you are not able to do anything, but you can. Okay, even though you are the 80%, even though you are the one that's not making six figures yet, hey, it's not about the six figures. Okay, it's about how you feel on the end of your life. It's about what steps you're taking today, because nobody is promised anything, right? But money surely helps. Okay, there you go. There you have it. I was very passionate about it. Let me know what you think. Invite somebody, share this out, and tune in tomorrow when I go on my next talk.